We're not on there. We're on page 10. I think that formula is like 13 or 14. Okay? Let's cover 4 components of cap rate because that's the #1 item. Then we cover the next. Safe yield. Treasury bill, 10-year Treasury bill return, yield curve. Okay? If you can invest your money, get a 10% or 8% return with Treasury bill, right now it's not. Right now it's what? About 3.75, right? So it's very low. But not long ago it was pretty high, 7, 8%. Okay? So why would you want to invest in real estate? You don't have anything better to do, right? So that's your basic safety margin. Okay? That's #1. #2, additional risk factors, right? Besides covering the same rate with the Treasury, what if something happened to this property, like all the risk, 12 risks we just discovered, right? So you got to cover them. Those additional risks. Let's say Treasury is 3.75 right now. You say, I wouldn't be happy unless I get 1 extra %. So now your cap rate should be 4.75. Okay, your return, in other words. Now, lack of liquidity. How long does it take you to sell property now? Answers. At least a year. What, 2 years? No more 3 months. How many of you sell 3 months now?
Depends on the value of the property.
Well, of course, if you're willing to put it very low, money is not the issue. I suppose you can still sell 3 months, even 2 months, right? Anyway, so you got this liquidity issue. Half a year longer, most of my property, my South 10th Street property went in escrow twice, come back out twice. Can't get a loan, okay? So it's a lack of liquidity issue. That's almost a year ago. I took the listing April, so now it's March. It's 11 months. I did everything I could, okay? So then the last item, recapture rate. That recapture rate is what you were talking about earlier, recover your cost. Okay, I cover my basic, right, opportunity cost. That's the Treasury note return. And then I also cover the 1% or 2%, whatever you want. Additional risk, right? Then now, lack of liquidity, let's say that's 1%. So 375 add 1 for additional risk. That's what? 475 add another 1 for liquidity. That's 5.75. Recapture rate. Every month when you collect that rent, after you pay all the expenses, you have cash flow. That cash flow should put aside to recover your original investment. If you didn't, if you spend it in the end and you didn't have a reserve to repair anything, when something goes wrong, you're out of luck. You don't have anything to spend. Okay? You didn't recover your investment. Challenges, data points. Anyone tell me how difficult to collect data nowadays? No transactions, right? Yeah, not many. Leasing have some transactions. Investment have very little transactions. I have people, my South 10, I had an appraiser not long ago, just a month ago. I asked him what kind of comps are you using? He told me 3 years old comps. This is real. I said, how do you adjust them? Well, I do this, I do that. 3 years old. And I tell you what, that 10th apartment, I could not sell it for $60. My first offer was $60. Second offer went down half of that. No, not half, I mean cut 5. So it's 55. Next one got to be below 50, okay? But that appraiser told me $110 a square foot because it was a 3 years old comps. Okay, you laugh, but this is real. Okay, so the difficult to, you don't have data. So how are you going to adjust them accurately? The more adjustment you have to make, the less your appraisal opinion worth, really. Okay, and then difficult to estimate risk. Anybody can tell me how to estimate any one of those 12 risks I mentioned earlier? Difficult, isn't it? Yeah. So you got to cover them. And then the economy. Boy, how do you know how fast that economy is going to recover or is going to go down? A lot of people, probably including me, sort of think the second wave is coming. How many agree with you? Yeah, the second wave, I think it's coming. I hope that's not the case. Okay? Of course, there's the news people and our press and everybody else all try to become a cheerleader. That's their job, I suppose. But we got to be realistic too. Okay, with the gas price, just that a little recovery now taken away by the gas price, isn't it? Okay, so that's the challenge part. Now, cap rate, caution. Cap rate can only be used as a guideline. Do not rely on that as your final amount. I have talked to quite a few bankers, and most bankers, some of them don't think that way, which is good. Quite a few think, well, I basically just use net operating income divided by purchase price, by those comps purchase price. So I have my cap rate. And then I use that cap rate applied to this property. Terrible, really terrible, okay? You got to really study that, okay? So you can only use as indicator, not anything serious. And then can be used for benchmark only if you know, oops. Only if you look at all this, what? Location, vacancy rate, rent condition, and your sales condition. In other words, is this property a real comp? Right? Only if this property is a good real comp. And then you can use it. That indicator is better. Still not 100%. You have other things you got to watch out. Those stress tests, everything, right? Now, a lot of time when appraisers call me, that's where they get information. By the way, what that property it was sold, right? What was the cap rate, all that stuff. So you share with them. And I would ask them first question, did you verify their income? No. Did you verify any expenses? No. Well, no verification of income, no verification of expenses. That net operating income really is garbage. You see what I'm saying? It's garbage in, garbage out. A lot of people say, whoa, I know how to do August. How many of you know August? Investment broker use August to do 10-year cash flow. If you didn't input things right, that thing doesn't worth anything. Misleading, totally get you wrong. You're better off not have it. Okay? So cap rate, you got to use it very carefully. Summary, higher risk, higher cap rate, because those 12 risks I just covered, right, increase everything up. And then lower risk, lower cap rate, of course. When you have lower cap rate, higher value, right? Okay?